Hey guys, it's Mari here, and thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a project to share with you for the SrapbookNerd.com online shop, and I'm going to be creating an A2 size card today, which will be a Valentine's card. I'm going to be using this alcohol ink Yupo paper for the front of my card, and I'm going to show you a really super easy technique with Ranger alcohol inks. So I'm just using my Heidi Swap craft mat here to protect my surface, and I'm going to start off by spreading a little bit of straight alcohol onto my Yupo paper. So I just took an old coffee cup and I put a tiny little bit of alcohol into that cup, and I took a really old paintbrush that's super inexpensive and it's fairly small, and I'm just going to apply a small amount of alcohol to my Yupo paper before I go ahead and start putting some of that alcohol ink onto my paper. So if you have never purchased any alcohol inks before and you want to try this, what I would recommend is just going and purchasing a few. Get a couple of colors that you really love. I don't have very many alcohol inks. I think I have maybe a total of 7 different colors, and I really love working with them, guys. They're so easy to use, and it's a really great way to create a project that has huge impact with not a ton of work involved, or really creativity for that matter. So now what I did was I just took that first color, which is, I'm just checking, it is called raspberry. So I just took my raspberry color, which is just a really vibrant kind of fuchsia color, and I just put a few dots of that on there. And now I'm going in with a color of yellow, which is called sunshine yellow. And I just put a few little drops of that just below the pink. And the next color that I'm going to use, I believe, is called pool. And I'm just going to put some little dots of pool on there. You can just see how they're reacting with that alcohol that's on the paper. And this is really fun. I mean, you could, stop now if you wanted to, or pick the paper up and let it move around in that way. And then what I did was I just took some of my alcohol blending solution, which is also a Ranger product. And what that does is it's just going to react with that ink, and it's going to get it to move around a little bit. So you'll just see me going in here now with a little bit of silver mixatif, which is another product that complements these alcohol inks. And this silver is just going to add, obviously, a little bit of silver accent into all of the different color areas. So I'm just going to drop that in now onto the little different little color areas there. I didn't add very much. Now I'm going to take a bendy straw. Bendy straw works really well for making videos because I don't have to get my head into the video there. I could just bend it and blow onto the paper without impeding your vision as you're watching me do this process. So if I were to add more of the blending solution or some of the alcohol, it will, create more movement with that. So I'm just going into my alcohol and I'm taking it just into some of the different areas and wetting it a little bit more. And you can see that that causes the mixatif just to move a little bit again. This dries very quickly so that when I'm blowing on it, it's actually drying it as well. So to keep getting it to move, you can add either the blending solution or the alcohol, and you can just see the difference. I'll add a little bit of blending solution here again, I believe, and you can see how it just reacts. I find that the blending solution, maybe, I don't know if I just get it on there more thickly, but it just tends to, I feel like, react a little bit more aggressively than just the alcohol does. So you can just see me messing around here and playing with it. And I just had a lot of fun. This is just a really fun process. And like I said, it is so super easy. So here you can see the colors, the pink blending into the yellow to kind of create some oranges there. And it's just beautiful. I love how these colors are reacting together. So it almost kind of creates a little bit of a marbleized effect. Now that's a little bit more of that blending solution that I'm adding there. And I'll take and add a little bit more of that pool color down to the bottom just to get the different colors kind of a little more uniform from the top to the bottom. And isn't that gorgeous? Look at it just moving. Almost, it's like kind of like when you use watercolors and you add water and it starts to create blooms. So it's so fun. Just love it so much. And when this dries, it dries completely smooth. And I'll show you that when I'm finished here. It just creates a really nice smooth surface at the end. So here you can see where I added that pool. It's kind of almost going into like a vibrant green. And I just love that. I think it's so pretty. Just moving that silver around a little bit more. And just gonna, oh gosh, look at what that's creating there. Is almost kind of like a really pretty purple at the bottom. And now that that process is all finished, what I did was I took a scallop die and I added that, I just cut the front, my Yupo paper out with that scallop die. And now I'm going to take this My Favorite Things mandala die and I'm going to cut that out with some silver glitter paper. So now that's done, you can see that I've got my scalloped cut front of my card with that beautiful Yupo paper and the alcohol ink on it. And I'm going to just adhere that to my A2 size card base with some foam adhesive just to pop up that beautiful alcohol ink front from the actual card base. So to create the card base, I just cut my heavy white cardstock into that A2 size. So it's just 4.5 by 5 1/4. And just gonna get that stuck down. Did I say 5.5 by 4 1/4? That's what I meant. So my card base is, I believe it's Strathmore Bristol smooth paper. You could use Nina Solar White. I've used that as well. I have a whole bunch of card bases cut up in my craft room and I just kind of keep them separated into different stacks. So I just don't really remember which one I grabbed here, but it could be either. I love the Nina Solar White cardstock as well for a card base. It works really well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of multi matte medium. This is a Ranger adhesive product. And I'm going to adhere my little mandala to the card front here. Now I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz poker tool, my piercer tool here. I've got a few little spots that the little die cut pieces of paper didn't quite release completely from that die cut. So I'm just going to use my little piercing tool here to get the rest of those little bits and pieces out of there. And then I will go ahead and attach this right onto my card front. Now what I did was I took some other colored glitter paper. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use purples or pinks with this card. So I just took a couple of other pieces of glitter paper and I cut out some hearts using a heart punch from my stash. And I'm going to embellish my card here with those little die cut hearts. You could create any kind of a card using your alcohol ink, obviously. This is it's timely, it's a Valentine's card, but this could be a birthday card. It could be, whatever you want it to be. And I plan on doing some more experimenting with these alcohol inks and with this Yupo paper to do almost like some little mini artwork paintings for some card fronts. I just think it's really fun. And you can buy larger Yupo paper as well if you wanted to do some more, experimenting with doing some different kinds of projects with your alcohol ink. And I just think it's so much fun. It's such a neat product and it's so easy to use. And I love the finished product when it's all done. So just adding a little bit of multi-matte medium here to a bunch of different areas on my mandala so that it will actually stick down to that Yupo paper and my alcohol ink. This is a really strong adhesive and it dries clear, so it's awesome and perfect for this application. So I'm just going to put this down here. You'll see me sticking it onto my card front. That silver glitter paper just looks really nice with that silver mixative. I like how that looks. I'm going to take a little bit of foam adhesive and I'm going to pop up one of my little glitter die cut hearts and I'm going to put that right in the center of the mandala. Sorry about that noise. I just knocked over an ink pad on my desk. And so I'm just going to put that right in the center there. And like I said, I'm using a little bit of foam adhesive just to, so that has a little more dimension on the front. And I'm also going to put a sentiment on the inside of my card using this Hero Arts You Are Loved Messages stamp set. This is an amazing stamp set and it is a really great value. I can't remember how many stamps are on here, but it is a lot. And I've used this quite a few times already. I love this stamp set, and I'm going to just take one of the sentiments. I think it says You Are Loved, and I'm going to put that into the center of my card. I'm also going to finish the center of my card off with another one of those hearts, those glitter hearts that I cut with my heart punch. So I think I am just adhering my stamp. I'm going to adhere my stamp to a stamp block, and I'm going to stamp this on here with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, which is a really great crisp black ink. So if you want to get a really good crisp image when you're stamping out a sentiment, I really highly recommend using this VersaFine ink. It works every single time. It does take a little bit of time to dry, so you have to make sure that you don't try to work with your project right as soon as you've stamped this or stamped with this ink, because it will actually smear, and that is tragic. There are ways to fix that. There's always a way, but it's just better to try to avoid that situation from happening. So if you stamp this down, you're just left with a really beautiful, crisp sentiment on the inside of your card. So I really love how that looks. And like I said, that stamp set is fantastic. It has a bunch of different fonts on it and a ton of different sentiments. And I love it. It's awesome. So this is pretty much it. I'm going to add a few little Studio Cadia sequins to the front of my card, and I think these are the iridescent ones, but I know that Joy has a ton of different Studio Cadia sequins and lots of sequins in the shop. So if you don't have any and you're looking to ramp up your sequence game, there's a lot of sequins in the shop. Did I say sequence? Sequins with an S. So this is pretty much it, guys. I really love how this turned out. So thanks so much for stopping by my channel today and checking out my video. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't checked out the SrapbookNerd.com online shop, it is really fantastic. I'm just showing you how nice and smooth the surface is on the front of this card. So I'll see you another time, guys, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.